Hello, friends of Komodo platform, friends of Bitcoin and crypto price charts. Yep, I'm E. Giuliano. It is the 6th of December. Time to turn over the calendar date to a Monday. It's a new week, and we have some weekly candle closes. And as you all probably know by now, we have some massive dumpage, and it looks like it's starting to really accelerate for some of the altcoins. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to do mainly some altcoin price chart analysis. We're going to share the screen here. And then I'm going to come back with a Bitcoin price chart analysis. I'm going to focus on some time analysis. And then we can look at price and shapes and trend lines and ideas around Bitcoin. But I think I want to just stroll through some of these altcoin price charts, and then we'll do a separate dedicated BTC video. So thanks for being here. I hope you're doing well. And let's start off with the VRSC coin here. On a logarithmic, on a logarithmic scale, we are, let's just get one of these lines here. This is a USDT price chart. On a logarithmic scale, we're breaking down on the dollar, and also on a linear scale, we are also breaking down of that dollar price range here, which we were watching. So definitely a big breakdown. And hey, we made it down to 70 cents areas on this chart. Now try to get that price for your VRSC somewhere. I'm not sure where that's going to happen. We could take a look over at Safe Trade Exchange as well. But basically, everything is taking a hit, taking a dump. We got to watch these 69-cent price levels for VRSC. We really need to hold this. Otherwise, this chart breaks down a lot further and gets ugly. But if we can hold any of these levels, then we make significant lows that can then be worked upon. So bottom line, and I think this is going to come out with the BTC time analysis, and hey, maybe we'll end up, I don't know when we'll do it, but some sideways movements could be coming for a few months, some weakness. That is one of the possibilities. And of course, the other possibility is further down. I think it's difficult at this point to rally to new highs anytime soon. So that would be the third option. So that's your VRSC coin. And I'm just going to check here. Can we see on the safest of trade? We can. So we'll take a look at VRSC coin. VRSC coin getting the first slot today. Let's share the Safe Trade Exchange. There we go. Well, basically, everything is looking solid with the BTC price chart for VRSC. Reminding you again, we made that bounce off the 88.6 retracement from this lows in the beginning of 2021 to the highs that were in April-ish. So there you go. Still going strong on the BTC price chart. Now the goal is to stay above these price levels here, above this 1800 zone, almost 1900 zone really. So it's not quite doing it yet, and I'm getting the sense that we are approaching this uptrend line and the price could be breaking down anytime. So that's a possibility if sellers start selling. Mainly we've seen a lower low here than we did here, and we're potentially continuing to make lower highs, and so that doesn't serve well for number going up. However, all good on the VRSC front, and we'll triangulate like that to see what ends up happening. Okay, whoops, that we undo. All right, so that's a VRSC price coin chart, and I'm going to get out of that, and I'm going to get back into our getaurox terminal. So let's share that screen right here. There we go. So that was some VRSC coin talk. The next, let's go to Pirate Chain before KMD. Okay. What did I do here? I took the all chart. This is a Pirate Chain price chart, by the way, on using CoinGecko here through getaurox, just linked up right there. And then, looking at the price today and coming back to the very, very old times that are not available even on the CoinEx exchange. These times are back in 2019. So let's bring it on back and say, all right, look. What is the peak from before? It's basically on this price chart is about 2,700 Satoshis. Then the next ones are like 2380, 2420. So basically 2,400. So between 24 and 2,700, but that's a gap. So it's most likely just come down. So 23 is really that low, and we've acknowledged that before on the price chart at CoinEx. 27 is also an important level here for potential turnaround. And the reason I'm bringing that in is because when we look at the Pirate Chain price chart here, what do we see? Well, quite a lot of lines, that's for sure. Just tracking the short-term price. What we're seeing here is the current price is around 28.28. So 27 is basically here. Here's 271. And we already had this line here from previously as some sort of support line here. So we'll just move it up to 27 just for fun. In fact, what we're going to do is create a box between 27 and the 24, which is right here. So what we'll do is do this right here and watch this as a critical area. So that's your Pirate Chain price. Now, importantly, the lows are still technically higher than previous lows, but yeah, it's difficult to say where things are going. If we want to look at it on a bit of a wave perspective, what we do have here is what looks like a bit more impulsive move down. Then it looks like a bit more of a corrective move up here with that longer time frame that it took. Let's check. Yeah, it actually took a 1-to-1, and now we're at a 2-to-1. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, sorry. Oh, we're at a 1-to-1 as well. So this got to take a bit longer, it looks like. So this goes, if we take this as 1, doing a bit of time analysis here unexpectedly, it brings us this purple line here is also a 1. So one whole unit to come down here and a unit to get up here. And now it's actually taking, if we go to here to start, oops. If we go here to start, we see now we're at 2, so it's double. So A plus B equals C right now. That's a good potential for a turnaround of a pattern here. Now I just want to see, what did we retrace? Let me just get that. So I hope you see that A plus B equals C. This A here plus this B here equals, oops, this C here. There's 2 of these. So one of these, each of these is half. 1C equals half B, or half of the C is B, and half of the C is also A. Or 2 times the A is C, 2 times the B is C, or the A plus the B is the C. So there's a chance that we are coming towards the end of it. We are at a very critical closing type of price level here, right on it. Okay. So that's the only hope right now, is that this is basically a closing price level to turn around from. But you know, everything else is not doing so well, let's say. So what makes Pirate Chain price different? Who knows? Things are not always correlated. Sometimes they are negatively, well, things are always correlated. Sometimes they're not always positively correlated. In this case, maybe it's negatively correlated. We'll see. I don't know though. I'm getting the sense that down is where it wants to go. Is we're making lower highs here. So until we challenge this uptrending line and this 20-day moving average, we're not in a good position. Also, it's starting to break down of the Bollinger Band here. So that's also not your friend. However, just keep an eye on it. If you want to get some, obviously down here is good potential in this boxy range. And that's for previous price chart levels. If it needs to break down, which that would be the most bullish. If we could stay above those previous 2019 prices, all right, which are here. Here, I'm even going to drag it all the way back, bring it on back. If these price levels here could hold, then that becomes a really big action for the Pirate Chain price chart, because you've had a big move up, a long consolidation, a huge move up, long correction, in consolidation. Who knows how long it goes after we lift off from here, but if it can hold this level as a low, that's a really big move for a longer term price action to the upside. Okay, that's just my 2 cents on that. So that's the pirate chain. Let's go a little bit closer into the 4 hourly to see what is happening here. Can we potentially be done with this or not so much? And to be fair, we are definitely breaking down on the 4 hourly. So what do we have here? This did not work in our favor. And so we are not getting any divergence yet, but we are again dumping down into this oversold territory. So it can't much that last longer. Can't last that much longer. How much longer, I'm not sure, but there are times where we could spend, you know, a month here, 14 June to 11-10 July. That's nearly a month down there chopping, but in between then there's, you know, there's chopping up. So when we go back to July and we look here, here's 14 June here. Oh, it's even worse. So it's like the big dumps. Wow, okay. So there you go. Like you're getting big dumps. And in between you get some spikes up, but the price not helping you. So are we getting more of that? It's possible. It depends what happens with BTC. Depends how fast it recovers and shows stability. I think that's the main key. Is like, are the wider markets going to be dumping and everybody's going to be fearful? Because that's ultimately what it comes down to, is fear and confidence. Okay. So I'm going to just do this right now with this trend line here. We're going to bring it here. We're going to track this potential 2 to 4 type of trend line and see when do we start challenging it. And if we break it in the right amount of time, then potentially we're good to go. The other option here in terms of price levels is something like this. Yeah, there you go. Like a 1-to-1 would be around the 26, and a 1618 would be around the 242 of it if we're going to zigzag down from here. If instead of this being the end of the move, if it's just kind of the middle of the latter half, you know, like the final quarter here, then we're maybe seeing something like maybe an ABC move, where firstly we have one and we have an intermediate move up correctively, and then we have another one. So that's what's bringing us either down here or down here, depending on how elongated it needs to be or how normal and at what level it might end. Now, if we want to also double this, take the whole move and take it internally, yeah, like a 1618 is right here at that 2700 level. So that's also potential. So that's the problem, is, you know, you never know what's going to happen. Who knows? I don't know anybody that knows. Do you know anybody that actually knows? Well, maybe people are good at making predictions. Okay, I just don't like that we're making lower lows here to complete it. But at the same time, you got to make your lowest low somewhere. And this, yeah, if this can complete here, that would be ideal. But again, I think there is some bias towards this zone here, just to confirm on the longest of time frame that, yep, we are holding that previous price level from back in 2019, and then we're going to go from there somewhere higher, okay, or at least chop around. So I'm going to remove this box right now. This is not relevant for our study these days, and we're going to keep watching this pirate chain price chart. So stick around. Okay, that's it for me with pirate chain price chart. Yeah, that's about it. It's not looking good. This is looking like a small version of this. Okay, we're looking like we're in a fractal. This is like a little fractal of this. Okay, not looking tremendous. However, it's not exactly the same, but yeah, it has this, you know, it has the flat type of pattern here. Oops, has this flat type of pattern here. However, yeah, like I said, I think this is definitely the zone to watch here for a rebound on the pirate chain price chart. Okay, let's see what happens. Stick around. Yeah. Now, the KMD price, did it do a seesaw, whipsaw, or a movie saw where you just get tortured and just asked to be put out of your own misery. Well, I'll leave that to you to determine. But you see that big red wick right there? That is a bloody wick right there. Piercing that Bollinger Band. It's like nothing happened. We go to the closing prices and nothing happened, except we have a lower high continued, which was from before. It was from the week of 22 of November. And we make another lower high where we're back into this sideways up trending channel. But that was created from candles and wicks. So in that case, yeah, you know, goes up, comes down, fine, that's expected. Moves like this take a lot of steam out of the chest, especially now because people who ended up buying or whatever, buying that happened up here, it becomes weak when the price gets back up here. And it was already weak because you could see it. It's just, this volatility is not helpful for a KMD price chart for those of us watching day to day. However, long term, that's going to be what it's going to be. KMD is known for the wicks. That's why, look, it went way above even our predicted potential levels of strength here, and it didn't stay. It was not even able to hold it on a 4-hour level. You know, the highest it closed on a 4-hour level was 2,100 Satoshis, but that's great. I wish that it could have really at the best maybe wicked up here to the 2250, not even gone into the box, because what's the value of all this price and KMD exchanging? It just diminishes the move that it had here to move up, because now look how easily it came swinging back down. People dumped it, and now we're just struggling to hold that 200 period average on the 4-hour, and now we're below it. So that's not good, and we're intermediate candling it, and it's just not everyone's favorite scenario unless you like to accumulate. If you want to accumulate, definitely time to think about that, because that's what the price chart is doing right now. It's consolidating and correcting from this move up. So let's see. Just give it a one-to-one type of move. Oh, that's not what we're looking for. We can still get one-to-one. 2 is here, so that would be one-to-one. So look for, middle of December as a potential time when KMD price feels comfortable to do something. But bottom line is, we do not want to see lower lows overall. We're seeing lower lows on the chart currently here. We're seeing these lower lows than previously. However, what we really don't want to do is start challenging this price level. So at this point, about 1,600 Satoshis really is something you want to hold. And that relates to these prices here too. Okay, we want to hold that 1,600 Satoshis level big time. Okay, you come down and touch and then bounce, that's fine. But definitely want that to hold. Let's see. All right, keep an eye on your KMD price charts. Set your orders low, set your orders high, because as you see on a price chart like this, if you get out in a good time, let's get back here. You know, if obviously none of this financial advice, you have other implications involved with getting out and getting in and all that. However, we are now, you know, let's be reasonable. Let's say we chose this box and we said, we'll put some orders here to sell 22, 23, 24, 25, even some in 26. From the 26, we are now 35% down. From the 23, we are 25% down. So that's good. I mean, if you would have had the patience at that point to see something's happening and watch, let it crash, let it find some bottom, whatever. I mean, this is much more short term, but to have this kind of price maneuvers, let's take a look at the retracement. At this point, from wick to wick, we are at a good 88.6. So if we can't bounce from here, then, well, KMD price really weak on the wick level. If we just take body to body, we are below the 61.8, so we can definitely handle ourselves down into, we would hope to hold at least at this 1600 level, which is the 78.6. So yeah, that's generally, KMD is not a 61.8 type of guy, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that's it for KMD. Not much else to say other than keep watching. All hope is not lost. And like I said before, there's even room to go below the all-time lows down at 1300, but that's much more concerning. If we can hold above it continually, then we're good to go for the future of price action to the upside. All right, and I wanted to just double check here. Actually, we didn't even look at the pirate chain MACD and RSI, but things they need to clear out on the daily level. It still needs to clear out. It's getting there. We're getting into the red now. So we'll see what happens going forward. Okay, good luck out there. Now, let's move over to some other price charts. I wanted to notice ICX, okay? And where's the other one? We're gonna check DERO and Origin Trail as well. Let's take a look at ICX. Firstly, because, and we'll look at THETA too, just a couple of studies here to take into consideration, okay? Look how quickly we broke down. Remember we came up and touched here. If you were watching previously, if you've been watching, thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, you can subscribe, keep watching. You can watch at 1.75x speed or whatever is interesting for you. All right, so we quickly broke down this whole trend line here. So this trend line is over right here. So we have a new trend line to work with. So I guess one of the big themes here today is that a lot of market structures and based on trend lines and shapes and stuff like that, they are being broken down. Okay, higher lows, lower highs, that kind of stuff. Lower lows, whatever it is. Now, currently still on a higher low, so that's good. However, here is a level to watch, 2100 Satoshis. So let's pop it right there. And someone is your uncle. All right, that's it. I'm getting rid of these. I'm not sure if it's going to hold. You know, some reason the getaurox terminal doesn't hold the data, like save it, doesn't save it right away. So I'm going to get rid of this one too. Okay, and now we're working with this potential triangulation, but that would require a bounce like now. So I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm guessing not, based on what we see here. So look for the bottom of the box. Here is about, wow, 1300. I don't think we need to go down there. But that's another lesson, is this level here. Another lesson, sorry, I'm doing two things at once, is that, you know, so much of the time, like especially with the BTC, it was coming from BTC. I was not really allowing for the bearish scenario to be realistic enough, and I just kept saying, no, it doesn't make sense that it wouldn't follow this. And that's fair. You know what? As I was watching it happen, I'm like, okay, it is breaking down this model, this idea, which was the uptrending channel. But anyway, basically, bottom line is, I'm saying, oh yeah, it shouldn't be breaking down below the 20. Like it shouldn't come down to 1300 Satoshis. And yeah, probably not, based on the fact that this is really the ultimate low. So maybe this level here is a good level here, and it's 1755, and it's not so bad if you dump here to 1755. It's still another 20%, 25%, whatever. That's nothing for crypto. So yeah, I think it's being open to all the possibilities and really allowing them, even though they might not seem like it should be happening. Because of course, who am I to determine the market, right? Who is anybody to determine it? So I think it's helpful, a reminder to take in the real possibility of all these potentials, and under what scenarios would those be happening, and then allow those scenarios to be real and possible. So yeah, under a scenario where Bitcoin was dropping into the 40,000s again, of course it was possible to be breaking these previous trend lines. Anything was possible at that point. So yeah, there we go. Next, let's take a look. So ICX, you got to watch this one, depending where you want to accumulate. If you do, then this is definitely a good range between the 2100 and the 1700 Satoshis there, I would say, in my non-financial advising opinion. So next, we will take a look at the ADA price. ADA is looking half decent on the BTC price chart, although now we're making lower lows. So half decent meaning it's following what we were expecting. So I'm going to take out this trend line here because we're clearly not going there. This trend line here follows the channel, so I'll take you out. So basically we got this channeling happening, and watch for this to break down below the channel. Otherwise, maybe we're going to get some bounce around this 2,500 level, wherever it's going to happen. But looking like it wants to make lower lows, and yeah, just keep these levels in mind. Still 2,000 to the 2,500 level as potential buy zone. And interestingly, just a reminder, things go down and then they bounce up and it looks good. Everybody was like, oh yeah, Cardano, good day for Cardano. And then boom, it keeps coming down. So always watch the trend. If the trend is down, then the moves up are, you got to be sus. Okay, those things are suspect, if you want to say that. And then I'm going to add in potentially one trend line here. Yeah, let's do that. That's a decent trend line right there. You know, it tells us that this little anomaly is outside of that trend line, and then here we can start by looking to break this downtrend here as a first idea. Now I'm going to take it out because we can pull it from these price levels here, and we'll do that when the time comes. For now, we're still in this channel, and I'm going to get rid of this box because it's irrelevant to us now too. And there you go. That's a daily price chart for ADA. Good luck to all you ADA players out there. And if you want some previous ideas on ADA, more to come, but check some of the previous videos that have ADA in the title. And then of course you can click around to the different spots, fast forward, or wherever you need to get to the ADA price chart talk. Okay. Next, I want to talk THETA because it rhymes and makes me feel like we're having good times. And especially when we want to buy at prices that are low, not high. And if we can do it on the fly, then maybe we even sound like Guy. Oh no, he's from Coin Bureau. So there you go, shout outs to Rhyme Master Guy. And I want to recognize, look, we broke down. So here's another little idea, thought lesson. We break up above this downtrending line, okay? And we're even making a higher high here than the previous high, but it doesn't really matter. It's not significant enough. We're now at a lower price level than before when we were below the trend line on the let's call it the left side of the trend line, the downside of the underside of the trend line. So we're at a lower price now. So just because you break above a trend line doesn't mean it can't come back down and further consolidate and also get to a lower price. All right. But it does mean that you are on the other side. And hey, let's watch for this level, this channel, to be a really strong support. If we can get some support at this channel, well, maybe I'll put on a shirt made of flannel. Anyone got one of those to spare? Okay, I'm out of here. That was a THETA thought. I hope that it impresses you, because that's what I'm here to do. And also educate, entertain, or whatever else you can take from this. So here's DERO, and yeah, DERO is Dumpero, because it was just time. Like we were beating against this trend line, couldn't happen, couldn't work. We got to the bottom of this channel again, and it's like, okay, forget it, done. Not unexpected, as you know, although anything is possible, but yeah, this was expected in that sense. And we already have levels laid out. If you want to check out previous videos, check out the DERO videos. And if you watch the most recent 1 hour video, it definitely has a bunch of ideas there for things. Yeah, 14,000 Satoshis to 18,000 Satoshis is a strong level. We're going to box that out because I see this price confluence here as support and resistance here. So we're going to box that out generally. And you know, hopefully this is not for me to tell you any levels specifically, right? This is like give you some ideas, and then you can play with those ideas and find levels that work for you. And yeah, that's about it. None of this financial advice. This is such a big structured degree. Let's go on the weekly. I don't see this, you know, being finished yet for sure. It's got some time, price and time wise. Let's do a bit of time analyses, and we go up, and let's call this the top. And we say if we're going to go 1-to-1 with the up to the down, then we're looking at May before we get a significant turnaround in terms of like, oh, we're noticeably on the new trend. And we might not notice that until much later and be like, oh, looking back here, yep, that was a good turning point area. Doesn't mean it's going to be the low over here. The low might be over here. It depends what kind of formation is being created. But I'm guessing that you know, at earliest, you might see some February action, which would be about 61.8%. So the run up would be 1, and then 61.8% of that time would be correction, and we can keep going. But 1-to-1 seems more fair, and corrections often like to last longer than impulses, in which case, you know, we're not looking till the second half of 2022. But that just, again, okay, fine. It seems unreasonable and unlikely, but it's obviously possible. Okay, so that's it for DERO for now. And XTZ made quite the dump. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, I did. Okay, I'm thinking of something else. So thinking of XYO, but we talked about XTZ last time. We had that big pump candle similar to the ADA, and it even made a higher high than the previous high. And what a distraction, because now it has dumped to a lower low. Now it did do a nice job of holding that uptrend line that we had carved out. So let's see if Tezos, and on a day where other things are red or not doing so well, Tezos is having a decent day. So that does show strength for XTZ, I should call it. And yeah, look for XTZ to kind of sideways here. If it can hold this support, then that definitely shows a good amount of strength. One danger would be going up. And in fact, not that that's a danger, but I could see this being the resistance and then come back down. So watch out if it does go up. It's a good chance that it's coming right back down. The other option is if it's going back up, it might be coming down and breaking this trend. But again, that's less likely. Looks like this huge structure being made is wanting to widen out and go into the upward trending direction. But we are at the critical levels to say otherwise. All right, there's your XTZ look. And next, I'd like to take a look at the origin trail price chart. TRAC BTC making looks like lower lows. So again, breaking out above a trend line, but now it looks like we're breaking down, trying to break down below it. What else to say other than we are back in this level here between 22 and 26, and watch out for the 1500 Satoshi levels. It definitely potential if this whole move is over. If how was previously counted, we still have time to go up in the next number of months after this correction, then maybe we can get into the teens, but maybe 2200 levels is like the lows, you know, before we start chopping again a bit sideways. So I don't know how much lower this has to go, but yeah, 2270s or whatever you want to give it, it seems to be a good level to try and hit something as a rebound, because we have this previous price level to work with. All right, but at this point, the strongest price level might be here at the 1500, unfortunately, for those of you who want the number to stay up. And especially, you know, it was such a quick, hard impulse up, it's got to take some time and or take back some of that price. as well. MACD wise, definitely has some time to clear out. It's going to chop and go sideways. So the question becomes, what's going to be the low of this correction? And I think I've laid it out decently well as to where those prices could be. And I see 2150 as a real possibility. But as soon as we start breaking down this 22, it's like, okay, why go 2150? Why not come down to like 1700? Why not come down to 1600? And ultimately to 1500, 1300 with your price limit buys. Why stop it here in hopes that it's going to turn around at 2150? I would say for me, I would go down to like 1780, 1800, and then at least you're not catching as much of a knife, of a sharp knife. It doesn't have right, and better. I mean, if you wait for a little bit of a landing here and then a bounce, like then you're more safe. But anyway, everyone play it as you will. I don't have much else to say about the origin trail price chart. So that is the daily price. Weekly is, yeah, weekly has some room to take some time. Maybe you get a bounce here and then it continues, and ultimately the 15 is the level. Because watch, you know, at some point, when BTC does do its next impulse, that's when other alts are going to dump against BTC in their price chart, and that's fair because their dollar value will probably still be going up. So watch out for that time as well. That's why correlating with BTC can be helpful and important. But as BTC goes sideways, maybe that's going to give room for the alts to find a bit of strength if we can get a sideways BTC. Okay, finally here. Oh no, we didn't get to the XYO, and then I would like to just check up on Binance. So with XYO, it did take a dump here. You see it. It broke down from that triangulation. So that's a key move, important move. So yeah, definitely we're looking at the 60 Satoshis level as being a significant support level here. And definitely looking at something like 450 or 500 Satoshis as a necessary support level. But if we can get this price level here as the support, then that's good. All right, so we'll see what happens with the XYO. On a daily, yeah, I mean, it could keep going. It's had a lot of volatility to the upside and now to the downside as well. It's like upside, downside, downside. So it needs a bunch of time to clear out actually. So that's the XYO price chart. And yeah, let's take a look at that Binance. I don't even want to look at, well, okay, now that I've got my eye on it, we'll take a look at the SHIB. Just because we've done before, SHIB USDT, yeah, broke down even more. So it didn't hold. If you were watching, I mean, I haven't really been watching this thing. If you were watching the uptrending support here, then you would have seen it breaking down. You probably want to get out of there, especially once you make that lower low and then the next high. That's if you're trading. If you're just looking for levels to get in, then clearly this 27 is a good level relating to this price action. So we'll give you a line here. You can see that, but definitely wait for the bounce before and the hold of the support. Yeah, so that's the SHIB. That's a 4 hour. That's a day. So here's another idea here again, but now we've broken back into the channel. Sometimes they break back into the channel, sometimes they don't. We're fighting it. But you know, here it again, breaking above the channel, sorry, the channel, the downtrending resistance, and then making a lower low still. Okay, so there's your Shiba Inu. And now to the BNB. Dollars wise, it's at 553 and it's at a 0.0115. Wow, we broke out above. Incredible. Binance. Look at that. So we are looking for something along the lines of, wow, like it just, what a strong move. We're looking for something along the lines of, see this like kind of bull flag here. So we'll check a one to one. We'll do it on a closing basis. So we're looking at a 012, 786 or whatever you want to call it. Okay, as a one-to-one move here. We're currently at a 61.8 roughly, nearly. So if it's weak, then it's going to stop there and it's going to not make a higher high. If it's strong enough, watch it make a higher high, 012. That's pretty cool. Watch out for the BNB against BTC. Isn't that wild? The Cobra. Okay. That is going to be it. Now I'm done. So thanks for watching, and I'll come back with some more videos. So stick around. And until then, wishing you love, peace, and happiness. All right. Goodbye.